Why don't girls grow mustaches? For many of us, seeing a mustache on someone is usually a dead giveaway that the person is male. It's one of the most recognizable gender-associated physical traits and has been for centuries. But why don't girls grow mustaches? While there are some rare cases where a woman does indeed have a mustache, the vast majority of women don't. In this video, we'll be exploring the reasons why women don't typically grow mustaches and what it means for gender identity. What causes mustache growth? Before we can truly understand why women don't grow mustaches, we need to understand what causes facial hair growth in the first place. Facial hair growth is largely determined by hormones. Specifically, a person's testosterone levels play a big role in determining the thickness, color, and amount of facial hair they grow. Testosterone is a hormone found in both men and women but is typically found in higher levels in men. This is because men's bodies are designed to produce more testosterone than women's. This increased production of testosterone is what leads to the development of male secondary sex characteristics, such as facial hair growth. Why don't women grow mustaches? Now that we have a basic understanding of the biology behind facial hair growth, let's answer the big question: why don't women grow mustaches? The answer is simple: because women have much lower levels of testosterone than men. Women have around 1/10 the amount of testosterone that men have in their bodies. This means that even though women do produce testosterone, it's not enough to trigger the same level of facial hair growth that men experience. What does this mean for gender identity? The fact that women don't typically grow mustaches has some interesting implications for gender identity. For centuries, men have worn mustaches as a way to signify their masculinity. It's a symbol of strength and power, and it's a way for men to express their gender identity. But for women, the lack of a mustache can be seen as a sign of femininity. It's a way to show that they are not the same as men and that they are comfortable with their own gender identity. In some cultures, the absence of a mustache is also seen as a sign of beauty. In these cultures, a mustache on a woman is seen as unfeminine and unattractive. This is why there is such a stigma around women who do grow mustaches, and why they are often seen as abnormal. Conclusion: it's clear to see that the lack of mustaches on women has a lot to do with biology and gender identity. Women's bodies are not built to produce the same levels of testosterone as men, which is why they don't typically grow mustaches. At the same time, the absence of a mustache is seen as a sign of femininity and beauty in some cultures. This has led to a stigma around women who do grow mustaches, and it's something that needs to be addressed and challenged. Ultimately, it's important to remember that the absence of a mustache on a woman does not make her any less of a woman. Everyone has the right to express their gender identity in whatever way they see fit, and that includes growing a mustache if they choose to do so.